Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Be a Poser. Today I'm going to be stepping outside my comfort zone by exploring the possibilities inherent in a different kind of figure body than I'm used to dealing with. And to do that, I'm going to be using the Hot Toys Wonder Woman comic concept version 6 scale figure. Let's get started. All right, here she is, the comic concept version of Wonder Woman from Justice League by Hot Toys. Comes with everything you'd expect to see with this figure, including the God Killer and the shield, her magic lasso, a few bullet ricochet effects, and an assortment of hands. Can't wait to see what I can do with all of this, so let's get rolling. Okay, here she is, Wonder Woman, out of the box now, ready to go. And my first impressions of this figure are, it is amazing. The paint is impeccable. My God, this isn't a review, I know, but I just have to remark on it. Everything about it just looks perfect to me. This is one of the finer portraits I've seen on figures that I've worked with in recent memory. Just great, great looking stuff. So definitely want to use the shield, and for that we're going to need this hand. Custom built to wrap around that shield grip. You can see it's all squared off and everything. Okay, sword, shield, hands, magic lasso, and her cloak. My God, the fabric on this is fantastic. It's got a really soft sheen. I'm sure it's going to fall beautifully. Let's find out. First thing, as always, I want to do is change these hands out. So looks like the wrist pegs have decided to come out with the hands that are already in there, or at least one of them. So just because I'm going to go ahead and put this sword into the hand while it's not on the figure. I waffle back and forth with doing this, and I don't know that there's any actual rhyme or reason to how and when I do it. I just kind of go with my gut, and my gut in this case is telling me that it's best to put this thing on before putting the wrist into the peg, or the peg, before putting the peg into the arm. Just go ahead and slide that peg in there first if I can. Yeah, good. And now this part. Feels like it's gone in there all the way. Just want to make sure that all this vambrace bit is going over the wrist. Looked like it kind of wanted to go in there first. So that's it. We've got a sword. The way that they've designed this is so that she can hold it down at her side, and while she's holding it, the Wonder Woman logo will be at the bottom of the shield. That's kind of cool, especially for the pose that I've decided to do here today. Slowly and gently work the handle of that shield into the hand itself and then rotate it around. You're just going to have to slowly worm it into the over the fingers and onto the hand. The fingers are flexible enough that you can feasibly pull them apart and just slide it right in. I used a different tack, but that's okay. I'm thinking that I'm going to want her leading with the shield, but before I do anything else, I just kind of want to pop this head off and get that cloak onto her. You know, I haven't even looked at images of this, but it seems to me that this is naturally kind of falling. It's going to go asymmetrical and kind of drape over her shoulder. I hope that that's how it's supposed to go, because that's how I'm using it. I really like the look of it. But since this didn't appear just like this in any film, well, it's kind of on us to decide how we would like to display our figure. And as you put the head back on, or make sure that you mess with the hair and just kind of smooth it down. It's kind of remarkable how it all just kind of falls back into place. Very minimal mussing. Okay, one of the things I noticed was that this vambrace is just a little bit low on the forearm, and I don't think it's gonna, let's see, yeah. See, I pushed that up just a little bit to expose more of the wrist on the bottom. The reason I did that is because just looking at this thing, I can tell that it's going to collide with the bottom of the hand, the wrist portion of the hand, and not allow it to go all the way onto the figure. All right, so we've got the peg inserted into the hand, and I think that's going to give us the necessary leeway that we need to actually get the hand on there all the way, and I think that's got it. All right, we've got a cloak on. Again, asymmetrical. I'm going to twist this thing around here so that it falls just across her shoulder like that. Yeah, just really liking that a lot. I'm finding that I can't get the typical twist of the torso that I usually like to do when I'm posing my figures. So I'm having to go a different route, and that's just to have her sort of in a walking posture. to cheat it, I'm going to kind of turn, I'm going to try to twist her legs a little bit so that we'll have the similar effect of turning that torso to her right, my left. Kind of got a little bit of a twist going here with the legs. You can see here that this knee isn't quite lined up 100% with this, so in order to correct that, I'm going to twist her leg a little bit more towards the front and then rotate that boot back around just to compensate. There we go, a little bit more of a twist to the leg, rotating back with the boot. Yeah. This is actually relative. In looking at this from my perspective, it looked like that boot was just a little bit off kilter. One of the things you're going to need to know about this is as you widen or narrow the stance, it's going to become important for you to rotate these ankles out or in to compensate. One final piece that I need to throw on is her lasso. It just kind of slips over. You can see it's magnetized and actually attaches to, must be some metal filaments in the lasso itself because the magnet is sticking to them. But you really just want it to clamp onto the clasp right there. Just leave it hanging there. Wow, great colors. Love that a lot. So we've kind of got something going here just a little bit, but I don't think it's quite grand enough for what I was after. So you can see that I just moved her leg back here a little bit. You're gonna have to actually take the feet off the joint in order to get the angle that you need for a particular posture. I'm gonna move this back. See how I've rotated that back there? Then I'm gonna spin it, rotate it in its axis until it's leaning a little bit that way. That's too much, so I'm going to bend it back. And as you're moving this, foot around trying to adjust it, you're just going to have to continually keep working with the boot in order to get it as close to approximating a single piece of clothing as you can. All right, I've got her in a bit of a battle-ready posture here. She's looking kind of tough, but let's see, that's going to be your angle on her. All right, so I'm just going to move this leg forward just a touch here. I originally intended to have Diana looking off into the distance, but given the wider stance that I've kind of created, I kind of want to, I'm kind of adjusting that a little bit so that she's got kind of a game face. So there. I want to rotate this shield just a little bit more to the front. I don't like how this sword is kind of just coming from out of nowhere there, so I'm going to take another look at this from my perspective. Yeah, let's bring that sword arm forward just a touch and straighten it out a little bit, just so that when I bring it around I can see more of it. Yeah, I can see more of that arm. It just looks a bit more natural, like I can see it more. The very last thing that you'll want to do when you get your pose dialed will be to just gradually sort of try to fix the hair. Like natural hair, it's going to be unruly. That is very much a Gal Gadot Diana. The beauty of this concept art version of the Wonder Woman figure is that it kind of adds an element of the original character design as she appeared in the comic books way back in the early part of the 20th century. Couple that with this brilliant portrait of Gal Gadot, and you have the formula for a nearly perfect addition to anybody's Wonder Woman collection.